You are tapped in with Caden. Are Kendrick Lamar fans in a cult? So Kendrick Lamar released a new album called GNX. And of course, Twitter was buzzing. Some positive reviews, some negative reviews, some people saying they just don't get the buzz behind Kendrick, and some people saying, of course, people who lack the mental capacity to put together, but you're not enlightened enough to get Kendrick. You don't deserve Kendrick. So it's led to a whole bunch of mess online. I'm not going to show all these tweets or whatever, but there's a skit that I'm going to play for you that captures what I'm talking about. And then I'll give my take on the whole Kendrick Lamar's position in hip hop debate, whatever. But first, we're going to take a look at this right here. And this skit is from Long Beach Griffey. So you can look, he has some funny skits. He has a lot of funny skits, Long Beach Griffey. So you should check him out and subscribe to his channel. So let's take a look.
King Kendrick, please take my unworthy blood as an offering to you and only you. Compton, Rosecrans.
So already, that sound is similar to the beginning of one of Kendrick's songs, where it seems like someone's either speaking in backwards or speaking in tongues, and so you could see he has like the towel and all the lotion on his face. I don't need to explain that. I think you get where it's going with that. But one of the funny things is, like, from this part, there's going to be some lotion on his eye, and it's just funny. But we're going to keep watching now.
Good Kid, Mad City. Damn. To Pimp a Butterfly.
Hello?
Apologies. My God Kendrick, God of Compton, God of Rosecrans, sweet God of hip hop, God of my soul, body, spirit, dropped an album. So I'm pledging my insignificant life to him. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't catch the dig, he's kind of saying, like, the people who go so hard for Kendrick are rather feel insignificant, so they find purpose in being indoctrinated and being a part of the Kendrick Lamar cult. So we'll keep watching.
Okay.
Have you heard this beautiful, perfect masterpiece? Of course you haven't. Because if you had, you two would be on your knees, taking all inches of Kendrick, filling up every space inside of your throat.
Pause.
Surely a work of art. It's up there with To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, the Holy Bible, One Piece. Kendrick Lamar is better than Michael Jackson and Jesus Christ put together.
I feel
So that's a significant point that I'm going to touch upon later when he says, like, Kendrick Lamar is better than Michael Jackson and Jesus Christ put together. He's talking about how people who follow Kendrick Lamar, or who are religious Kendrick Lamar supporters, they embellish and they make everything he does, like, I'll get into that when I get into it, but we'll finish watching this.
like you truly believe that.
With the genius of Kendrick Lamar, I knew as soon as I heard the first second of the first instrumental of the first song of this album that Drake was finished. That Drake was done. That Drake was never, ever coming back from this. Even if Drake had nothing to do with this album, he's done. Drake sucks. Kendrick better.
All right.
And so the other thing that's kind of funny is when some people go on, like, the Kendrick Lamar rants, what he's trying to capture is, this is how people who are not a part of that cult see you. They see you as that. So
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get on the internet and argue over an artist that doesn't even know I exist. Good day.
Word. Yeah.
So again, that is Long Beach Griffey. You could subscribe. You know, I'm going to subscribe to Long Beach Griffey because I've seen a few of his skits and I think that they're hilarious. So, you know, of course, everyone doesn't hit a home run all the time, but that one was pretty good. So, check it out. Here's the thing. Are Kendrick Lamar fans in a cult? Not all of them, because I consider myself to be a Kendrick Lamar fan. You can check the history. In fact, I got my wrap up from YouTube Music this year, and Kendrick Lamar is the #1 artist that I listen to the most. Number 2 is Drake, and then number 3 is Tim's. But we're going to get into that. So I would consider myself a Kendrick Lamar fan. In fact, according to YouTube Music, I'm in the top 1% of the people who listen to Kendrick Lamar because every day I listen to Count Me Out, Rich Spirit. Sometimes I go back to the old school, like Don't Kill My Vibe. I like to listen to Hold Up from Section 80. I like to listen to Hold Up. Just a lot of the old, like from like his discography, right? Like I listen to it all. So for me, I think Kendrick Lamar is a dope artist, but I don't go as far as some of the other people. So are Kendrick Lamar fans in a cult? Not all of them, but some of them definitely are. And we're going to get into this. Is Kendrick the best of his generation? In my opinion, yes. He has the most meaningful music from this generation. J. Cole, you could throw him in there occasionally, but J. Cole tends to stray to some of the worldly things. And J. Cole, like, he's dope, but J. Cole to me, you know, he's definitely a dope artist as well, but to me, he's not the best. Like, I think Kendrick Lamar is better than J. Cole. Now, you go to Drake. Drake to me is more like JayZ Vs Nas back in the day. And I remember this because I think Nas is better than JayZ. Nas's music helped get me through a rough childhood. When things were uncertain in the 90s and I was growing up, 90s, 2000s, like it was crazy. Things were hectic. And I would listen to the music and the music would inspire me. It reported what I was going through, but it also showed like the greater side. Like Nas has tracks for days. And I think Nas, like Nas said, and Ether, name a rapper that I ain't influenced. Like that's a bar because that's real. I don't think if you find someone who isn't influenced by Nas, it's probably a drill rapper or something like that. So that was raw. But JayZ was a dope artist. Lyrically, JayZ was dope. JayZ had styles, flows. He picked the dopest beats. Nas didn't always pick the dopest beats. Nas was into making art. It's like Jada Kiss always said, y'all use beats for help. We help the beats. Nas was more like that. Like, I'm going to pick a beat and my flow's going to make this song hot. Like, I don't need to pick the hardest beats. I don't need to get with the hardest producers. If I hear a track and I like it, I'm going to bring the track to life. That's what Nas is. That's what Kendrick is. So a lot of people hear Kendrick beats and already they're like, oh, this ain't banging in the car, whatever. But Kendrick's going to bring it to life with what he's saying. Kendrick wants the focus of the song to be what he's saying, the message. He's not trying to make you dance and do the whole whatever. And you saw how easy it was for him to do it on Not Like Us. She said, oh, this is what you want. So let me show you how easy it is to do this. I'll murder you on a track while making people dance to it. Like back to back. I'm going to get back to that. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to get back to back. I'm going to get back to that for the record. Like he back to back Drake. So that's what he was showing you how easy it is to do that. But that's not what Kendrick is about. You know, he's like Nas in the sense that his message is more important than dope beats or whatever. But JayZ, on the other hand, he gave you the dope beats, he gave you the party songs, but he also gave you some dope lyrics too. Like JayZ would spit fire. And Nas is my so of all time. It's very hard for me to pin down who's my favorite artist of all time, but Nas is one of my favorite rappers of all time, if not my favorite rapper of all time. Nas, right? But I listened to JayZ more growing up because why? Nas was more of a feeling. Like when I was feeling a certain way, I was in a certain mood, only one artist I need to listen to could make me feel better or would help me get through it, and that was Nas. Actually, there were multiple artists. Well, there were multiple artists that I could listen to, but Nas was the number one for me, right? But JayZ, any situation, about to hoop, listen to JayZ. Going to a party, listen to JayZ. And JayZ had those songs that you could really feel too. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he was just a feature, like This Can't Be Life, for example. JayZ, he has those type of songs, like, as well. So you can't say JayZ didn't make that type of music, but he didn't focus on that type of music the way Nas did, the way Kendrick does, right? So that's the thing between Drake and Kendrick. And this is why I don't know why Drake even wanted to get into a battle with Kendrick. Nas represented the culture. Nas stayed true to the culture. Nas was about creating the wave, not riding the wave. And JayZ could create some waves, but mostly he rode the wave. Like, and there's nothing wrong with riding a wave. But when you go against the person who embodies the culture, it's going to be tough to beat him. And that's why Nas defeated JayZ when they had their battle, in my personal opinion. And that's why Kendrick defeated Drake, because Drake doesn't embody the culture. Drake's a feature guy. He's featured on everything. He's riding everyone's wave. He's doing all types of this. Kendrick's true to the art form. It's hard to beat someone like that because they represent the culture. So Kendrick went on to defeat Drake. Now, I'm going to get into the signs because I do believe there's a Kendrick Lamar quote. I will admit, because I've ran into them. There is a Kendrick Lamar quote, and I'm going to give you the 3 signs that you're dealing with someone who is a part of the Kendrick Lamar quote, and you just need to leave the person alone. Don't even engage with this person if these 3 signs are present. The first sign that someone is a part of the Kendrick Lamar quote is they think Kendrick Lamar is the GOAT. They think he's the greatest rapper of all time. And although Kendrick Lamar may be the best of this generation, in my personal opinion, he is the greatest of all time. No, he's not the greatest of all time. I think that I saw people say he's better than Tupac. No way. He's not better than Tupac. He's not better than Nas. He's not better than JayZ. He's not better than those guys. Just stop it. If you believe that, to me, then I got to look at you differently. Like, okay, you started listening to hip hop then from this generation, or you never went back to the old tapes to listen to the old MCs, to listen to the albums that were made. You never listened to all the classic albums. You never listened. You didn't do your due diligence. If you call yourself a hip hop historian and you think Kendrick Lamar is the GOAT, I got to question your judgment. Now, if you want to say he's one of the best of all time, or he's made like that top list with, top 20 or whatever, we could talk about that. If you want to talk about top 10, maybe I would have to really peel back the layers but off the top of my head, like I said, Tupac over him, Biggie over him, JayZ over him, Nas over him, Eminem. You got Eminem out there. And that, to me, you could have that. You can have that debate. You can have that discussion. But I'm just saying, like, to say he's the GOAT and act like there's not even room for discussion. Okay, I already and it's not just that they say he's the GOAT. It's like, you're crazy if you don't think he's the GOAT. Like, if you question their choice of Kendrick as the GOAT, you're crazy. Okay, so I can't even have a discussion with them. You got to let it be. The second sign is that they've publicly denounced Drake and J. Cole. So the people who are part of the Kendrick Lamar cult will tell you Drake is trash, J. Cole's trash, Kendrick's the only thing, and you shouldn't be listening to Drake. Drake is this, J. Cole's that. See, this takes me back to East Coast, West Coast days when I was growing up. And I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, so there were a lot of people I ran into who were just Biggie. How can you listen to Pac? It's all about Biggie. Pac is whack. And I'm like, how can you say Pac is whack? Like, I don't know these dudes. I'm not pledging my allegiance to Biggie, and I'm not gonna miss out on dope music because people don't like Tupac. So the All Eyes on Me, the double disc was dope. Lots of great songs. My favorites like Hearts of Men, Bring the Pain, Ambition is a Rider. Um, so many dope songs. Like again, just so many dope songs that I would just play and kill. What is it? What is it? What's the name of the song? How many brothers fell victim to the streets? Rest in peace, yo. There's a heaven for a G. There's just so many songs. Like it's insane. Tupac's catalog's crazy. But my favorite Tupac album of all time is Machiavelli. And that album came out during a tough time in my life. And I just remember listening to Machiavelli from beginning to end, no skips. And it was just such a fire album. Like from the beginning, Bomb first, then Hail Mary, Toss It Up's the commercial joint. So I skipped Toss It Up a few times after like it got overkilled by the radio and everyone else. Blasphemy was my joint. Like just all of them. I remember Crazy. I used to love the song Crazy. Yeah, just the whole album. You can listen to it, and even the way it ended. Against All Odds, straight fire track. So, like, this was music, and this is what I love. If you didn't listen to all that and you don't know all that, you may put Kendrick over Pac, but you know Pac's influence is so great. He's still relevant today. People still talk about Pac. People still listen to Pac. That's how great his influence was. That's how great Biggie's influence was. And you got to remember, these are dudes who got murdered in their 20s. So they didn't have the opportunity to grow, expand, and do all the things that a Kendrick Lamar or Drake or even a J. Cole has been able to do. Their impact on music has lasted for the limited amount of time that they were in the game and were able to put out music. And Pac's put out so much music in his limited time on this earth. Like, come on now. You can't just but getting back to it, like you couldn't like Pac and you couldn't like Biggie. I listened to both. So I knew Biggie's lyrics. I know Pac's lyrics. I appreciate the music. So and I always thought this, even back then, if someone would denounce Tupac strictly because he's from the West Coast and not even listen to his music, how can you know that he's really better? How can you know that Biggie's really better than Tupac if you don't even listen to Tupac's music? How can you know that? If you don't even give Tupac's music a chance, how can you say Tupac's not a dope MC? If you don't even give his music a chance. So this is what I'm getting at. They'll denounce Drake, they'll denounce J. Cole. They won't even give their music a chance. And they'll just say that Kendrick's better than them. But again, you're not really the best person to speak with because you didn't even listen to their music to know if they're spitting or how well they're spitting, to even test your theory that Kendrick's better. So the first two signs is one, they think Kendrick's the GOAT. Secondly, they denounced his competition. Any one of his rivals, they don't even listen to him. They don't even give him the time of day. So they denounce Drake and they denounce J. Cole. The last sign that someone is a Kendrick Lamar fan is they refuse to acknowledge that some of Kendrick Lamar's songs just aren't good. If you don't like a Kendrick Lamar song, and if it's popular opinion by people who aren't a member of the cult that this song isn't good, they tell you it's not the song that's the problem. You're the problem. You just don't have the capability of understanding how enlightened Kendrick is in the bars that he's spitting. That's when they get in their cult mode, like in that skit. Like, the dear God, Kendrick, we don't deserve him. You know, they'll tell you something like, you're not pro-black enough to understand this, or you're not this enough to understand this, or you're too privileged to understand this. You know, this is the ground. Good, like if you got to start getting into that, like I said before, if you got to start getting into the whole, oh, you don't know enough, and this and that. Like I said, that's like the stylist telling you the world's saying this shirt's ugly, but the stylist is saying that's because you don't understand the complicated stitch pattern and blah 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 and this and that. Like, you know. The chef telling you don't understand. You think this soup is nasty because you don't understand the complicated blends of seasoning that had to go into. Nah, bro. Soup's trash. The shirt's trash. The song is trash. So, like, those are the three signs. Okay. So, one, they think he's the GOAT. Two, they denounce all his competition. And three, they refuse to admit he has some songs that just aren't that good. And you're the problem if you don't like the song, not the song itself. But are Kendrick Lamar fans in a cult? Not all of them, but some of them who fall into the category that I just named are. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.